That is a child, Remarin. I hate you. You know that, right? Remarin hissed. He turned his attention back to the child that had almost bashed his brains out. Who are you? What are you doing here? Why did you attack me? I'm Kit, the child answered, jaws set and fists tight at his sides. Salva had me tied up here, dunno why, and I attacked you because that's what you do to thieves. You bash 'em. Well, let's have a little less bashing and a little more talking. Remarin looked the boy up and down. His blond hair was dirty and longer than was the fashion, and his clothes were little more than rags. But there was intelligence shining in those blue eyes, and a ferocity that Remarin found, well, amusing, if he were to admit it to himself. Nothing to talk about. Salvar's dead. There are men beating down the front door to kill you, and I think they'll probably do that or worse to me. Can we run away now? Remarin revised the boy's age upwards at his words, then heard the loud crash of a door splintering downstairs. Yes, I think running away now is a grand idea. Do you have good boots? No, I was barefoot when Salvar nabbed me. Kit pointed down, and Remarin looked at delicate feet that didn't look like they'd ever run barefoot before. Oh well, the child was about to get a survival lesson. That's fine, we're taking the high road, and barefoot is better than bad shoes up there. Now come on. Remarin flung open the window and looked out into the street. So far, their little adventure hadn't attracted any outside attention. More likely, Salvar had paid off anyone he thought would scream for the watch, so as long as the fighting stayed in the house, no one was going to say anything. He stepped out onto the narrow ledge and stretched for the eaves. His fingers found the slimmest perches, and he pulled himself up onto the roof. He lay flat on his stomach, reaching down for the boy. Kit, can you grab my hand? Remarin whispered. I think so. The child's voice quavered. Remarin didn't blame him. If he slipped, the boy would fall to a hopefully quick and definitely painful death on the cobblestones below. Kit stood on tiptoes on the ledge, then on one foot as he strained to grab the thief's dangling hands. Then their fingers locked, and Remarin pulled the boy to safety. You're heavier than you look, Remarin panted as they lay on the roof. You're just weaker than you thought, Kit replied. The boy scrambled to his feet and said, Which way? Remarin pulled himself up to a crouch beside Kit and pointed off to the east. That way. We'll follow this line of buildings all the way to the docks, then hop over a couple of alleys and into the attic of a man I know. You mean a thief? Kit said. Remarin looked at the boy, startled by the accusation in his eyes. Not everyone I know is a thief. This man happens to be a shade, I'll have you know. Remarin started off across the rooftops, walking toe to heel to keep his steps silent. What's a shade? Kit asked, matching his steps to the larger man's. Remarin sped up to get ahead of the boy, hoping to hide his flush. A shade is someone who buys stolen goods from thieves. Oh, but he's not a thief. Oh, no, mustn't think that. Shut up, kitten. It's Kit. Don't call me kitten. If you're going to follow me around like a puppy, I should call you Spot. Well, what am I supposed to call you? Mr. Thief seems a little silly. Remarin held up a hand, and they slowed their march across the rooftops as they crossed a house that the thief knew belonged to a light sleeper with a crossbow and a willingness to punch holes in his own roof in an attempt to skewer squirrels. Call me Remarin, Prince of the High Road. He tried for a grandiose bow, but almost lost his balance on the pitched roof, and had to frantically windmill his arms to regain his balance. Call him Remarin, King of the Jackasses. The boy's eyes flew wide, and he whirled around, looking for the unseen speaker. Who said that? Where are you? Wait, you heard that? Remarin put out a hand to steady the boy, whose balance had grown precarious, as he looked for the source of the voice in his head. Of course I heard it. Someone making fun of your name. But where is he? I don't see anyone. He's my dagger, Remarin said simply. Kit gaped at him, then stared at the dagger with its softly glowing red hilt. Your dagger? Yeah, his name is Trant. He's trapped in the dagger for 1,000 years because he managed to irritate a powerful wizard. I irritated him. I seem to recall there being 2 of us in the wizard's tower that night. Yes, but I'm not the one trapped inside a knife for an eon, Remarin replied. Only because I got caught. Proving that I am the Prince of the High Road, Remarin said, bowing. This time without the balance troubles. But that doesn't explain how you heard Trant talking. Who are you? He peered more closely at the child, who ducked his head at the scrutiny. I told you, I'm Kit. I'm nobody special. And aren't we still on the roof that you were worried about? Remarin's eyes widened.